Today we will be trying Beyond Visual Range in the F-16 Viper. If you have the Syria map, this is an instant action mission that's provided by Eagle Dynamics.
Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
The first hostile up is the MiG-15, which will then be followed up by 5 more enemy aircraft, with each sequential hostile being a little more difficult than the previous. With a total of 6 enemy aircraft and a total of 6 missiles on our Viper, we're going to need each missile to count, so hence the name, the Gauntlet. And as I prepare my radar, I'm going to be exclusively in TWS or TWS mode and air-to-air mode because I wanted to brush up and practice some of the things I had forgotten. I'm currently in a 1-bar. A simple TMS to the right locks the hostile. The MiG-15 is one of my favorite modules, and I find it so interesting how the AI uses the air brake to modulate its speed. Now, I failed to mention, when you're in air-to-air mode, the computer defaults first to the 120s, so holding the nose wheel steering for a few moments and then hearing static will switch to the Sidewinders or 9Xs. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is his gear down? Basically, I forgot that the gear lever was down, so when I spawned in, it lowered the gear.
What an idiot.
Usually about 2 miles is the range for the 9Xs, so when I hear the tone, I uncage the missile and then launch.
Flash 1.
I finally noticed the 3 green lights on my left console, and I flipped the lever up to raise the gear.
Embarrassing.
That bitch is dead.
Even in death, they've done such a good job with the MiG-15 pilot model, slumping completely forward in the seat. I almost feel a little bit sad for him. The MiG-15 is still high enough that he's showing up on data link. Cycling through my radar ranges, my data link picks up a contact less than 20 miles out. I'll pull towards him and hold my turn until I pick him up on the left MFD. I move the radar gimbal slightly in his direction, TMS to the right, and you saw as soon as that track file went solid, the computer automatically locked him. Not having to move the radar cursor and lock him, I think, is a pretty neat feature in TWS mode. And the other cool thing, I don't think the hostile gets a missile warning until it goes pitbull. I think the MiG-19 is so beautiful and futuristic looking for a 1950s aircraft. One of my biggest disappointments is waiting for it to go on sale, and now I can't get it. Anyway, he's about 6 miles out and we're closing fast. Once he's in the closed box, it'll be hard for him to escape. And for some reason, I was waiting for the last possible second to uncage the missile and press the weapons release. He drops his tanks, I guess in preparation of a merge, but instead he gets a missile in the face.
Flash 1.
You hear Wags call out the MiG-23s up next, and this is another beautiful aircraft with its variable swept wings, and this will be the first hostile that's going to be able to fire back at us with long-range missiles. I've got my right and left MFDs linked together so that when I adjust the range on the left MFD, it'll change both of them at the same time. I turn slightly to the right just to get them lined up a little bit better, and I'm also playing around with adjusting the azimuth, giving TWS a very narrow place to search. A TMS to the right, get a lock pretty quickly. He's just under 17 miles out, so we've got some time to wait. In VR, the sunlight can seem pretty bright, so when you see me look down at the ground, that's so I can read the hammocks a little easier by getting a better contrast with the background. I get a launch warning, but I'm gonna be a little bit stingy and trying to get a little bit closer. You can see the smoke trail coming off his missile in the distance. As soon as I fire, I go defensive.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as boy.
I'm super fast, diving toward the deck. With my naked eye, I can see his missile in the air, and I'll try to notch it by putting it on my 3 o'clock wing.
Flash 1.
I do one more quick check to my right, looking for the missile. I'm having a hard time seeing in this cloud, and we also have to worry about the mountains. The missile falls well short of me and on the other side of the mountain. I'm looking at the data link to see where the next target's going to be as we enjoy this camera angle of the MiG-23 going down. Next challenge is the MiG-29 Fulcrum. We've got a target just under 80 miles, but I think that's a ghost track. And look how well Eagle Dynamics did the pilot model. It tracks not only my head movement, but almost my complete body. You can tell exactly which MFD I'm looking at by just looking at the pilot's head movement. I decided to climb and get some altitude because I don't see anything on data link yet. I'm checking both the left and right MFDs, making sure I have them both set correctamundo. So he shows up directly behind us, so we're gonna have to do a U-turn. Oh, and I failed to mention I'm a noob when it comes to BVR. So besides the landing gear being down, you're probably seeing a ton of other mistakes I'm making that I'm not even aware of, and I'll probably make even more. Feel free to roast me in the comments. So I've already started to TMS to the right in that turn, and as soon as that track file was solid, it locked him. And he is 24 miles out. So we've got a pretty good amount of time to wait, I guess. Also, I love how it shows 29 for the MiG-29's radar in the hammocks. I can't imagine how stressful this must be in real life. For a real pilot, I wonder if it feels like time has slowed down as he's waiting to press that weapons release button. And we're still about 18 miles out. My finger is on the button. It almost feels like a game of chicken. Who's going to fire first? I want the carrot to get as close to that solid box as I can before I have to run, but I also want to make sure I have enough time to defend his missile if he fires. When he fires. 12 miles out. And he fired. I'll return the favor and start to defend. So if you saw my HUD, the missile is already on T12, it's gone pitbull, so we no longer have to keep a radar guidance for that missile, and we can completely turn away and defend. And I can see the contrail from his missile, so it's easy for me to put it on my 3 o'clock wing and notch the missile.
Flag 1.
And you see that little dot moving across the sky? That's me. And he's got no chance of hitting me now.
No chance, that's what you got.
Ah, would you look at that?
I'm already getting another target, which looks like past 40 miles. So I extend the radar to 80, hold this left-hand turn, lower it back to 40. Now I'll start to climb to get some altitude. And that is a Su-27 flanker, another beautiful aircraft. I'm still climbing, but also trying to keep my speed. I TMS to the right, wait for the radar computer, and it automatically locks him. 36.5 miles out. That's pretty far, I think. So we got some time to kill before we get there. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do while we're waiting. Range is just over 30 miles. We are fast. Speed's about 700 knots. I'm thinking we need a little bit of altitude, so I'm going to start to climb. Range is just under 27 miles. Starting to gain more altitude. I'm thinking with more altitude, I'll get more range on the missile, hoping that I can loft this missile when it comes time. And we are now just under 23 miles, and he is still out of range. And he launches before I do, about 20 miles out. I return fire, and now I'll start to defend. I'm going to roll over and dive and try to start to notch his missile. He also dives down, and check out the chaff as he defends. I notice I need to turn back to the right just a little to keep the radar gimbal guiding the missile for just a few seconds longer, and once the A changes to T, I turn back to defend. I cannot see anything in this cloud. I do get a little bit disoriented. I'm worried about the mountains, so I'm going to go back up. As soon as I clear this cloud, I see a nice little valley down there, and it looks like a nice little place to hide. I look over my shoulder and I can see the contrails from his missile. I don't see any explosions or anything else. His missile is actually on the other side of this hill.
Meanwhile,
I've got no confirmation of a kill. In fact, my missile doesn't even see him. He's done a good job flying fast and avoiding my missile, but he flies dangerously low to the ground, and he doesn't avoid that tree. Wags is informing me that the MiG-31 Foxhound is inbound. I'm still looking over my shoulder and making sure there's no incoming missiles. Nothing on the data link yet. I lower the range to 80 miles. Data link picks him up, not quite behind me. I'm going to make a right-hand bank, hold my turn. I'll bring him all the way around until he's in front of the radar and then make some adjustments. And if this was a real opponent, I probably wouldn't want to be doing this. I'd probably want to be a little bit more stealthy in my approach. And I am still booking it at 700 knots. But that doesn't compare to this jet, which can fly at Mach 3. And I keep saying this, but to me the Russian jets are just so beautiful. I would love to have a full fidelity MiG-31 Foxhound. I would love to fly that thing. That's got to be the fastest fighter in DCS, right? And I'm not sure, but I think the R-37s outranged the 120s of the Viper. The Viper's still my favorite. I mean, just look how beautiful it is. So I get a lock what I think is a pretty long range, but I think this might be glitched. I try to adjust the range of the radar, but it's stuck at 80. I switch it back to dogfight mode and then back into air-to-air, and I've heard that the Foxhound can burn a ton of fuel in just a minute, so maybe that's why he cut his burners. Meanwhile, I have flown into a cloud, waiting for TWS to lock him. I get the lock, looks like 40 miles. I adjust the range, this time it works, and I am going to try to get above these clouds so I can see a little bit better. Plus I do want to get some altitude on this Foxhound. We've hit bingo fuel, but look how beautiful DCS is above these clouds. This is heavenly, is it not? I mean, if I wasn't trying to kill the enemy player, I would just be flying around enjoying the scenery over the map Syria. I know this is an old map, but this is still one of my favorites. And we are getting close to weapons release, just under 22 miles. We are on the final lap, and we just got the one missile left. Range is now under 20, so we're pretty close. I get the missile warning that he's launched, but again, I'm gonna be a little bit greedy, try to get just a little bit closer, and then I launch. I look at the HUD and I realize I don't have any missile information on the last missile, and we launched at like 19 miles, so I know I need to keep the radar gimbal on this missile and guide it in for a little bit of time. But that missile he fired on me is no joke, so I need to be careful and stay fast. I'll try to pull this missile down to the ground while also trying to hold my lock. And as you can see, I still got him locked.
Flash one.
I look over my left shoulder and you can see that long contrail from that missile, and then you can actually see it explode as it hits the ground.
And our allies have prevailed.
Well, we are home free now, just about, and I won't be needing these anymore because they are empty. And if I fly in this direction, it should take me right to the airfield. I'm pretty sure that runway should be right around here somewhere. I just need to keep my eyes peeled so I don't miss it.
So we backtracked a tad! Tad! A tad, Lloyd! You drove almost a sixth of the way across the country in the wrong direction!
Slight miscalculation, and we may have gone in the wrong direction. And we are now also down to only 200 pounds of fuel. Looks like there's a pretty straight road right underneath me, so no problem. We're just going to be needing to land on that. I'm not really known for practicing landing, but I mean, how hard can it be? Just put the wheels down and it'll almost land itself, right? I just need to point it in the right direction.
Okay, welcome aboard City Airline. This is your captain speaking. I'll be turning on the seatbelt sign now. If your seats had seatbelts, this is the time you would fasten them. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy your shitty flight. Hello from the cockpit. This is your captain speaking. As you can see, it appears that we are going down. Now would be a good time to reflect on your life and pray to whatever deity you believe in. Thank you for flying City Airlines. We know you have a choice in airlines, and it looks like you made the wrong one.
What an asshole. More left rudder. Put down more flap.
I think I'm doing pretty well. There are some hills on this road that I didn't anticipate, but I'm watching the AOA indicator and I put it in the green, relaxing the throttle. My airspeed is just under 140. The Viper's now gently descending, and I'm just going to let it land itself.
Keep your eyes on the far end of the runway.
I mean, just one bounce isn't bad considering the hills. I do see a couple of yield signs, but I do believe I have the right of way. I'm applying the brakes and I am trying to watch the speed limit of this neighborhood. Hopefully this is a friendly neighborhood. I mean, this is Syria, so I'm sure the locals will be understanding of a F-16 landing on their highway. This is starting to remind me of another situation that I was in a while back.
32. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!